Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about three murder cases. Not one, not two, but three. Now, when we talk about these cases, okay, especially the JFK assassination case, they're talking about all these different they have all these different kind of claims out and different kind of rumors out, all these false stories brought up. But what people don't realize that there's actually, in the JFK assassination case, there's actually three murder cases, not one, but three. But everybody treats it and looks at it as one case, which that's the reason why there's a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to a lot of the research that people does when it comes to JFK assassination. Let me show you something here. Okay, we have Governor Connally, Officer Tippit, Jack Ruby, James Tague, JFK, and Oswald. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up. As you see here, I look at it as three murder cases. Not one, but three. The only reason why they drag three murder cases into one is because of Oswald right here. Because Oswald is connected to all three of these cases. So they're going to say the JFK assassination case, the murder case of Officer Tippit, and then Oswald being assassinated as well. These are all one case, which it's not. And here's what I'm going to explain. When we look at the JFK assassination case, okay, it happened in Dealey Plaza. Okay, JFK was assassinated. Governor Connally, fatally wounded. James Tague was wounded, but that was just not it's like a flesh wound. And Oswald was there because Oswald worked at the Texas School Book Depository. He took two shots at JFK. But Oswald left. Now, Officer Tippit was not killed in Dealey Plaza. Officer Tippit was killed in a different location. And he was happened to be killed, and it was not around the same time. It was at a different time. And it happened Oswald was the one that killed him. So these are two different cases. They're not, Officer Tippit has nothing to do with the JFK assassination case. And the JFK assassination case has nothing to do with Officer Tippit's case. And then, remember, Jack Ruby didn't kill Oswald until 2 days later. So this is another murder case that has nothing to do with Officer Tippit or the JFK assassination case. Okay, these are three different murder cases. But with all these researchers out there, JFK researchers and stuff like that, they place all these murder cases into one because of Oswald. Oswald was in the assassination of JFK. Oswald assassinated and killed Officer Tippit. Jack Ruby killed Oswald. So if Oswald didn't kill Officer Tippit, we wouldn't hear nothing about that. And if Jack Ruby didn't kill Oswald, we wouldn't hear nothing about that. So we would just have this right here. Only reason why Officer Tippit was brought into their mix, the JFK assassination mix, is because Oswald shot him. And the only reason why Jack Ruby was brought into the JFK assassination case is because Jack Ruby shot Oswald. So if these two incidents right here didn't happen, then we would never hear nothing about Jack Ruby or Officer Tippit. But there are different murder cases. There's three different murder cases. This is why I find the evidence that I find, because other JFK researchers, okay, they want to put Officer Tippit into it, Jack Ruby into it, and everything else. And we got all these false claims surrounding JFK assassination and all this stuff. And they place everything there. Just like Jack Ruby. They placed Jack Ruby there at Dealey Plaza, which he wasn't, okay? But see, they place all this stuff here. And that's why today when we go, like if someone goes down Dealey Plaza, they're going to say Jack Ruby hired Officer Tippit to assassinate Oswald, but Oswald was too quick and he shot Officer Tippit. And then Jack Ruby had to go in and do the job, kill Oswald, so Oswald wouldn't talk. Okay, that left an opening, just like the JFK assassination, because of JFK being assassinated and Officer Tippit also being killed by the same gunman. And then Jack Ruby steps in the picture to kill Oswald. This is why it left a lot of doors open. into this one case, but actually it's 3 murder cases. Because remember, when Oswald was first picked up, he wasn't charged with the assassination of JFK because that was a different murder case. Different people was working on it. The people that charged him with Officer Tippett's case because they was working on that case. And that's why when they brought Oswald in, he was charged with the murder of Officer Tippett on November 22nd, 1963. It wasn't until November 23rd when charges are brought upon Oswald on the assassination of JFK, because it was a different case. When they worked on these cases, they worked on them as individual cases. But researchers and stuff, they try to bring all these cases into one murder case, when actually there are 3 different murder cases. This is why they get so confused. This is why they don't know what they're looking for, because they're putting too much into it. Okay, that's why when I talk about the JFK assassination case, you don't hear me talk about the case, the murder case of Officer Tippett, or the murder case of Jack Ruby shooting Oswald. You don't hear me talk too much about that because it has nothing to do with the JFK assassination. JFK assassination was in a different location than these other 2 locations. It was done at different times than these 2 right here. Okay, two cases happened on the same day. Don't get me wrong on that. Within an hour time frame that both of these 2 incidents happened. But Oswald wasn't shot until 2 days later after these 2 events here. So see, that case of Oswald shouldn't even be brought, of Jack Ruby and Oswald should not have been brought into the JFK assassination case because that happened 2 days later. Officer Tippett happened after the assassination of JFK, but that was in a different location, so that's a different murder case. Okay, but researchers bringing all this in here. This is why Jack Ruby has something to do with JFK assassination. This is why Officer Tippett has something to do with JFK assassination, because Oswald was the person in all 3 of these cases. But that's the only reason why, because Officer Tippett was brought into it because of Oswald. Jack Ruby was brought into it because of Oswald. But Oswald was in a JFK assassination. That's the reason why these 2 guys have been brought into it. So since they're going to bring them into it, so they might as well bring the story into it too. And that's where all the confusion starts coming from, because they're bringing all these 3 different murder cases into one. Okay, I wanted to make this video and explain a little bit about it, because what brought me upon making this video is the day I met a new friend from UK, and we was talking about it, and I told him, you know, I look at these JFK assassination as one murder case, Officer Tippett as one murder case, and then the murder of Oswald as a different case. So that's 3 different murder cases. But with all these researchers out there over the years bringing all 3 of these cases into one, this is where the confusion comes from. This is why evidence can't be found, because they're looking at too many different locations. They're looking at the location where Oswald was assassinated. They're looking at the location where Officer Tippett was shot and killed. And then you got another location where JFK was shot and killed, and Governor Connolly wounded, and James Tagg wounded. Okay, there's 3 different locations, 3 different murder cases. Yes, all 3 murder cases has something to do with Oswald, but it has nothing. All 3 cases does not have to do with the assassination of JFK. This is why evidence has been lost. This is why evidence has been overlooked, because they're too busy trying to put all this stuff together and come up with a story to why this person got involved or this person got involved, because they're trying to come up with something, but they're losing themselves. And they're losing evidence as they're going along, because they're too busy concentrating on 3 murder cases as one when it's actually 3. This is the reason why I find the evidence I find, because I'm looking at them as individual murder cases. So if I'm not looking at the Tippett murder and the murder of Oswald, because them are 2 different separate cases, and just concentrate on JFK assassination and the location where the assassination took place, that's how I found all the evidence I found today and presented. That's the reason why these researchers overlooked a lot of stuff, because they're too busy pointing at this, trying to figure out how to put this person involved, how to put this person involved, how to come up with a story to where they can directly contact one another into it, like trying to figure out a way to have Jack Ruby and Officer Tippett, okay, connect the dots there, and then connect the dots with Oswald, with all 3 of these men, and then connect the dots here and connect the dots. They're putting too many dots out there and trying to figure out ways to connect them and come up with stories to connect them, when if they take their time and work on each individual cases and take this as 3 cases, not one, you will see that they can actually find out a lot more. But they don't do that. They're trying to interact all these cases into one. I just wanted to make this video here to explain a little bit that when it comes to JFK assassination, that's one case. That's one murder case. When it comes to Officer Tippit, that is one murder case itself. So now that's 2 murder cases. And then when Jack Ruby assassinated Oswald, that's a 3rd murder case. There are 3 different murder cases there. Not same murder case, 3 different. But everybody wants to look at it and treat it as one murder case. This is where the confusion comes from. This is where the stories erupt from. This is where all the false claims start coming into play because of that. I just want to make this video and point this kind of facts out. Don't forget that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about it. Share this information in my other videos from on social medias and other networks and stuff. Always in the description down below. Find a location where you can buy my books, Evidence of Conspiracy. The only book you'll need in JFK assassination. Thank you, and you have a pleasant day.